Hey guys and gals, hope everyone had a great Christmas and a very happy new year. I'm in the 80s toy room because I've got a couple of new additions for the collection here, courtesy of good brother AJ Blake. He sent me this huge box, the size of this thing, and there's some vintage Star Wars items in here. When he was watching the 80s Toy Museum virtual tours, he saw that I didn't have really any vintage Star Wars figures. I think I have like 3 or 4 of them. Just a Jedi Luke, an Endor Han, a Darth Vader, and a Chewbacca. And I think they're actually the reissues from the Power of the Force line. So most of the stuff I have is modern. So AJ Blake was kind enough to send me his vintage Star Wars items, and I wanted to do an unboxing here. I normally don't do unboxings, but I'm very excited about this, so I thought it would make a great Patreon exclusive. So we've got some packing materials in here to make sure everything made it to Canada safe and sound. And right off the top, G.I. Joe. Gotta have a little bit of G.I. Joe in there. These look like trading cards. What are these? 1991 G.I. Joe Recruits. So we'll give you a little look at these. And we've got Major Altitude, all sorts of different vehicles. The Mobat. Oh, here's one for Joseph. The Ram Cycle. These are really cool. Snow Serpent. Should maybe do another video just going through these, but that's really cool. Thanks, AJ. And a bit more packing stuff in here. And I see an AT, oh yeah, it's an AT-ST Walker. And that is vintage. That is beautiful. Look at that. And that is just the way I like them. Well loved, well used. I've never seen one of these in person, so I'm looking at a button. I'm just pushing the button back there. I don't want to break this thing, but there's a thing that goes to this. Oh, look at that. Spring-loaded action back there. I'm gonna have to do, oh my god, that's awesome! Look at that! Still works after all these years. That is fantastic. Little cockpit for a figure there. Oh, that is fantastic. Love that. AT-ST Walker. Let's see what else we have in here. Oh my god. It's the Dark Lord of the Sith carrying case. I've seen this at quite a few toy shows, vintage toy shows in my area. This is one of the ultimate carrying cases. G.I. Joe had a few of them, but there was nothing really special about them. I got one in the bottom corner I'm looking at here. It's just kind of a plain box with a sticker on it. But this, to actually mold it in the image of Darth Vader with the detailing, nice and secure. It's got 3 latches, 1, 2, and 3 right here. And that's where you can put your Whoa! There's Star Wars figures in here. Oh, AJ, thank you so much. This is amazing. They're all individually wrapped too. Let's take a peek and see who we've got in here. Oh, that is awesome. Right down here. We got Ewoks. I love these guys. So when I was a kid, before I got into Star Wars, these were the guys that always caught my eye, probably because of the cartoon. I love the Ewoks and Droids cartoons, but these are vintage Ewok figures. That is really, really awesome. Awesome. Oh. You know, we see these at shows, and I'd love to collect them, but it's just like the 80s reliving themselves again. There's only so much money for certain things, so Star Wars kind of always took the back seat. But here we've got a vintage C-3PO, and it's the New Hope version. He's seen some wars here, but he still looks fantastic. Good old Goldenrod. That's awesome. Man. We've got a... I was not expecting this many figures. We've got a Hoth Trooper from Endor. I guess I can just, instead of putting them aside, I can just put them in the actual carrying case. I don't know if that's catching that on the camera. You can just slide them in here. And that'll make it a lot easier to display them too. Man, there's a lot of them in here. Another Ewok. I need to figure out what all these guys are named. But we've got another Ewok in there. Logray, Chief Chirpa. They've all got these unique names, and I can't tell them apart. But this guy, I'm thinking Hammerhead? Hammerhead figure? I don't know why I would know that, but he's one of the Cantina aliens from A New Hope. Awesome. This is a Rebel Hoth Trooper. No mustache, so it's not Cliff Clavin. But a Hoth Trooper. With a removable backpack. That's pretty cool. Most Star Wars figures didn't have backpacks. But when they did, they had these... you can actually... I'm a little hesitant to try to take it off here because you never know when this stuff is going to snap, but it's held together. Kind of like the parachutes on G.I. Joe figures. And we've got... This is an AT driver, or ATST driver, so that's awesome. You can just stick him in here now. Perfect fit. Now the ATST has a driver. That's awesome, man. There's nothing like the originals. I love reissues. I love upgrading. But that looks awesome. That's got some real magic to it. And we've got, speaking of newer figures, this is one of the Power of the Force figures. It looks like a Stormtrooper, but if you pull on his helmet, it's Han Solo. The Han Solo Stormtrooper, which I believe was a mail away, never available in Canada. I think it was either Luke or Han. I think it might have been this one though. Han Solo Stormtrooper, awesome. And gotta love these guys. Lando's little helpers on Bespin. It's an Ugnaught. Love these half-sized, pint-sized figures too. G.I. Joe figures were generally all the same size, so I like that Star Wars varied things up. There's another Ugnaught, little pig-nosed guy, and they gave you figures of all shapes and sizes. You could have regular figures like Han Solo, then Darth Vader, Chewbacca were a little bigger, little half guys, and then even giant guys like Jabba the Hutt. Oh, no way! It's a vintage Darth Vader with the vinyl cape. That is awesome. That is fantastic. That is one of the 80s treasures right there, or 70s. Late 70s, a vintage Darth Vader. It's amazing. Before I knew anything about Star Wars, I still love these guys. The big Gamorrean guards, the pig guards. I love the girth of them. Speaking of figures of all shapes and sizes, look at this guy. That's a lot of plastic there. I don't know if he'll even fit. He's a little wide actually for the carrying case. You got to kind of put him on an angle. And oh, cool! Yeah, this is one of my favorite Power of the Force 2 items. We did get this exclusive in Canada, the Frito-Lay Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, and it pops when the light passes through him. He is very ghostly looking. Looks fantastic. So we'll just set him aside here. And we got a vintage Stormtrooper here. Cool. One of the original Stormtroopers. It's nice to finally own one of these guys. They're so iconic. You see people with collections of hundreds of these guys, and I think it's really cool that I now have an original Stormtrooper for this 80s toy museum. And we've got another driver, AT-ST, AT-AT driver. Let's see if these guys are the same. They look about the same. Star Wars experts will be able to tell which one is which version, but there's two of them now, so that's cool. One for the carrying case and one for the AT-ST. Awesome. And this is another Darth Vader. Two Darth Vaders. Awesome. You can stick him in a Vader TIE Fighter now instead of I've got the newer Vaders, so it's cool to have a vintage one in one of the vehicles. And we got one figure left in here. Oh, no way. It's a Jawa. Oh, that's cool. Little Utini guy. A Jawa. Speaking of smaller figures, that is so awesome. That is an amazing... Oh, did I miss one? There's another Ewok in here. Striped guy. And I think that's it. That is really awesome. I guess, look at how many figures this case can hold. That is really, really awesome. And there's more stuff in here too. Oh, no way! It's Jabba the Hutt! That is awesome! Always wanted one of these guys, but he was too gross when I was a kid. Big slug, but and I didn't even know you could do this. I just started pulling on this, and I've never seen one of these. Like, I've never held one. I've seen a couple of them at toy shows, but you can actually move him around and play with him. He's got movable arms. The big slug. That is awesome, man. Some of these things you never realize how much you love them until you actually have them in your hand and you're holding them in your toy collection room. So Jabba the Hutt, that's awesome. More stuff. And we got a dewback. I think they're called dewbacks. This is there's a button on the top here, so that just open. Oh, I get it. Okay. This collapses so that you can have a figure sitting in there. Very clever way of getting a figure to ride a beast. And same deal as Jabba, you move the tail on the back here, and he moves around. But I like this idea. This may have worked better for some of the Mattel toys, the beasts like the horses or Battle Cat, Stridor, to be able to just insert the figure instead of trying to straddle them or do this kind of deal. So that's really cool too. Okay, we got some more stuff in here. I think I know what this is. This is the carrying case belt, right? You actually carry your figures around with you because a kid can only hold so many figures in his hand. So, I think they sit. They sit in here. I'm not familiar with this thing. Maybe this isn't a figure carrying case. It's something else. It's part of like a Stormtrooper set, rifles, something. I don't know. But I'll find out what that is. That looks cool. And more stuff still. We've got... Oh, yes! Thank you so much, a Tauntaun. I've been looking for one of the newer Tauntauns for a while because I picked up one of the newer Hoth Luke Skywalkers, and just a little too rich for my blood, so I was hoping to find maybe a Power of the Force 2 version. But having an original Tauntaun, same gimmick as the dewback, you can just insert the figure for my Hoth Luke or Han to be riding on. That is so awesome. Awesome, love these little guys. And that is it. Just taking a quick look to make sure nothing dropped in here, any loose pieces. Everything was packed so well. So yeah, nothing really rattling around in there, but what an amazing gift. AJ, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. That is so generous of you, and all of this stuff is going to find a very good home I'll definitely be filling out my Star Wars shelf now, since it's pretty sparse. It's really cool that Star Wars is going to have now like a very strong representation in this toy room, because we've got tons of Masters of the Universe in here, tons of Transformers and G.I. Joe, and it's nice that I got some actual vintage Star Wars stuff here too. So looking forward to showcasing this stuff, doing reviews in the future, and just having it sitting there and being able to appreciate it. So thank you so much, AJ. Nerd must stay. Very much appreciated. And thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. All of the great feedback for all of the videos that I do here, and for my wife as well. Thanks everyone for all the great feedback for her Star Trek videos. She's loving doing it. She's really enjoying the community that we're building there. So we're having lots of fun. Looking forward to a great 2019. It's going to be lots of fun. And I think the Force will definitely be with the channel now, thanks to all this awesome stuff. Thanks again, AJ. Bless you. Nerd must stay.